Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. Off of a fairly positive day, our layup line, VJ Edgecombe, cashed 4 assists. He ended the game with 6. Unfortunately, we did not hit our free throw bet of the day. Boston had 13 threes. Minnesota had 17, so the read was almost right there. Boston also scored like 120 points and won the game. They just didn't do so from the three-point line, so a little disappointing. Chet, disappointing as well. Chet had 21 points. We needed 22, so he was 1 point short there. But we did cash this half-court heave at plus 780. Naz Reid 2, McDaniels 2, DiVincenzo 3, and Edwards 3. So that feels good. Other honorable mentions, leans that hit, quickly overs. The over in the Boston game and Boston winning. Fox 3s and points and Spurs winning by 5. I nearly swept the Minnesota game. The Minnesota team 3s, DiVincenzo assist was over, Randall assist was over, Edwards 3s was over, McDaniels 3s was over, and they won by 7. So almost a complete and utter sweep of that game. Draymond Green hit 3 threes. Chet did go over. You may say, well, we lost. Yeah, I took a mega alt line. His total was at like 15.5. So he cleared that, and then Green rebounds and assists. So another positive day, and I owe 3 ornaments. I already threw them on here. You can see them. They're the 2 red ones in the pine cone. And the lights are on. It doesn't look like the lights are on because my window's open. I got to figure that out. But nonetheless, Anthony Edwards was my favorite pick as far as the stat stuffer goes. Brunson and Chet were my second and third picks. We had Cray Zest, G-Mode, and Adam, a longtime fan of the show. Adam Westbury, a longtime, both critic and supporter is Adam, but more so supporter. This is bothering me. I got to lower my desk. I got this on Facebook Marketplace. It raises up and down. I did a little walking this morning, so it's all out of whack. Trey Murphy, I don't even know what he would have paid. We'll get that information for you in the next one, but I imagine it was massive. So I don't know. Nobody would have had him, though, so we can't celebrate. I was actually shocked that Anthony Edwards was a $100 free bet. Feels pretty good for a guy that I thought was fairly obvious. So we'll take that, and we'll roll into today. Portland and Cleveland is your first matchup. Cleveland, 10.5-point home favorites. Both of these teams are great at shooting the three, but they also defend the three well. Portland can get a little sloppy at times, and they are also on a back-to-back. I like the under in this game. I think the teams will be able to defend the opposing three-point line. And when they do that, I think it slows the game down and slows the points down as well. I like Darius Garland in his matchup against Denny Avdija today. And truth be told, Tormani Karmara for Portland, the shooting guard, is a fantastic defender. So I don't know what Mitchell's points were at completely, but if he's in the high 20s, I would maybe look at an under for Donovan Mitchell today. I think he could get defended rather well. You want to take a Mitchell under and a Garland over, a little bit of some correlation there. You try to find a good price, but that may be a look for today. Pacers in Denver is an interesting one. I look at that 7.5, and I really wonder which side is correct. I want to say Denver, but the Pacers do have this weird way of showing up against teams that they are supposed to lose to. It's just been a Pacers thing for as long as I can remember. Denver defense has been a little bit sloppier, a little bit weaker with the Aaron Gordon injury. In Indiana, like I've said in the past videos, they are improving. They're finding the rhythm. I'm just not sold. I think this is going to be a battle of pace. If Indy can run and control the tempo, they cover the 7.5. If Denver slows them down, stops them in transition, makes them uncomfortable, makes them play in the half court, I think Denver covers the 7.5. Jarris Walker threes is a lean, and I mean it's a lean. He has been one of the most inconsistent guys. I think he was 0 for 5 last game. So it's tough when you see volume, but you don't see the results. It's hard to keep trusting a guy. So you can get 3 at a good price. You can get 2 a little bit juiced. I didn't ultimately play it, but it is a look. Jokic triple-double is like minus 140. I only looked on DraftKings. If you can get minus 110, maybe take it. But I don't know if I'm touching minus 140 in a game where I'm just not confident in how it's going to look. Spurs and Magic, 8-point favorite. 234 is the total. San Antonio's defensive weakness is from 3, but Orlando is not a high-volume 3-point team. Spurs are on a back-to-back. They won last night against Memphis. Both teams are strong in the paint. I lean the under here. I think that total is too high for a team that's on a back-to-back. and for two solid defenses, one of which one of the best in the league in the Magic. I like Suggs threes. He should have a good matchup against De'Aaron Fox. Desmond Bane has been on an absolute tear. If you go look at his recent performances, he is finding a rhythm in this offense with the absence of Paolo Banchero, which in some ways I think Orlando should be glad that Banchero is hurt because it's not really affecting their performance. They're still winning games. They're still competing in every single matchup, but it's giving guys a chance who normally would not have a chance to show off, like Desmond Bane. Not saying that Desmond Bane would be completely silent if Banchero was out there, but I think Bane is building confidence, and when Banchero comes back, he'll still play with that same level of confidence, and they'll add Banchero. So just a side note, I think Orlando's in a good spot from this, and Bane has been hooping, so look at his numbers. And then Tristan da Silva, threes, also his matchup looks good in this one. Atlanta and LA, I lean Atlanta -3.5, guys. It's an odd one again, and it's because Atlanta, on paper, just consistently looks like they should be a top 5 team in the league. But they never show up. I think the threes that they hit will be the difference maker in this one. I think that will set them apart in this game. And I lean Dyson Daniels assists if they're hitting a lot of threes. Daniels doesn't take a lot of them, but he should distribute a lot of them. Nikhil Walker-Alexander threes has been a money printer. 5, 6, and 6 in his last 3 games, and you can usually get plus money at 3 or 4. So he has gone way over that. Like 6 tonight, I believe, is like 14-1. And he's hit it in 2 of his last 3. Now, I'm not saying he's going to hit it in this one. I'm not saying we should look at past games and always judge on that. I'm just saying I like his matchup again, and he has had the green light. Zachary Rochester sauce, as I call him, threes, looks good as well. And then Kawhi, for a game that I like Atlanta to dominate, I do think Kawhi's matchup against Zachary Rochester sauce should be fairly soft. And if they're going to stay in the game, I think it's through the hand of Kawhi. Knicks and Hornets. New York is on a back-to-back. Tough loss last night in Boston. They travel home. It's not that far of a ride, a hop, skip, and a jump probably. I'm not great with geography, but I know Boston and New York, they've got to be a hop, skip, and a jump, a stone's throw, like a bus ride. So that's not too worrisome for me. New York, like we talked about yesterday, is weak at defending the 3. Although yesterday they only allowed 13. They still lost. So take that what you will. I don't know if you believe in trap spots. I know people talk about trap spots in sports and sports betting. That 9.5 feels like a trap spot. I would maybe go Hornets plus 9.5 if I had to pick a side. You know, it is a tricky one. Also, I'm looking at this. I don't believe Charlotte has a green defense. I must have had a misclick or an error, so I apologize. Neither does Brooklyn. So forgive me for that. I don't know where my head was at. I was doing the walking. I was probably about half mile, 0.75 miles, and I just lost control of the mind. So Charlotte's defense is orange. It's not that great, but hard assists and Brunson points. The Brunson points play is just simple. Not only is it a weak matchup against Lonzo Ball, who doesn't play a ton of defense, LaMelo Ball doesn't play a ton of defense. I think it's a narrative play. Held pretty in check last night. Pretty underwhelming game. And you return home against a soft matchup. You want to get that taste out of your mouth. So I like Jalen Brunson to have a good night tonight. Bulls and Brooklyn. Again, Brooklyn, is not good at defense. So that should not be green. Brooklyn needs threes to win. They live and die by the 3. If they win the game, if they compete in the game, it's because they're hitting threes, and that is it. But Chicago has a good 3 defense. So, again, Chicago and Atlanta are the same team as far as I'm concerned. They look good on paper, and they never get it done. So I'm not going to touch the spread or the total in this one. I'm just telling you, if Brooklyn wants to compete, I think it's from beyond the arc, and I think Chicago's going to defend that. This is the fastest team in the league. Chicago Bulls are number 1 in pace, and Brooklyn is number 29 out of 30. So not quite the slowest, but I'm not going to put fastest versus second slowest. That sounds stupid. And no Kobe White, big-time scorer for the Bulls. He's out with an injury. Claxton double-double is interesting, guys, but I'm going to be honest. I looked at the price. It was going to be one of my official plays. The price was just a little too low. It's like plus 150. Like if it was 220, I think I'm in. I don't like plus 150. Giddy triple-double is a lean. This is the last time. He's not getting the assists. He's getting the points. He's getting the rebounds. He just cannot get the assists. We've been hooked, I believe, twice on 9, and he's covered the rest. So you get one more chance, Josh Giddey. One more chance. Last 3 games of the night, Houston. All these stats are right. Okay, all the colors are right on here. So I apologize for the two errors. Houston is off a loss to Utah, where they were 14.5-point favorites. We talked about that game. They had played them. Then they faced them again. I said beating 2 team in a row is tough. I like the 14.5. I didn't expect Utah to win outright. They did. Utah wins that game by shooting more so than I think Sacramento is able to shoot in this one. I think the pace will be slower. I think the defense for Houston will come to play. And again, 15.5 is not a number I'm interested in touching, but I think Houston has more success here. Reed Sheppard, points, rebounds, and assists, possibly Reed Sheppard assists, possibly Reed Sheppard points. I say all of that with the fact that KD is back and Reed Sheppard's volume and minutes played has taken a massive hit the last 2 games with KD being back. So what's working in our favor is if this game gets out of hand, I believe Reed Sheppard will get more minutes in a blowout situation. Do with that what you will. I did not ultimately end up playing any of those because, again, just looking at how he is going to operate with KD being back is but his matchup is great. So take that for what you will. Alperen Sengun overs and Alperen Sengun triple doubles. He has a soft matchup against Drew Eubanks tonight. Milwaukee and Detroit, one of the most interesting games in terms of matchup, in terms of game script. Both offenses are doing well scoring. Both teams are strong defensively in the paint. However, Milwaukee's advantage here is that they score so much more from 3. So if both teams are struggling to score in the paint, Milwaukee has more to fall back on in the fact that they can score from beyond the arc. Kevin Porter Jr., I don't think plays in this one. He is questionable. He has not been in a lot of games. He's been injured at the start of the year along with Giannis. Giannis, of course, is back. Kevin Porter Jr., I think, sits this one out. I could see this turning into a 3-point contest with Miles Turner, Bobby Portis, Giannis kind of clogging the paint. Jaren Duran, Tobias Harris, isn't a big guy, but they've got some length with Thompson on this team. So I see this turning into a 3-point shootout. Tobias Harris threes is a unique look. I worry about the foul trouble if he's guarding Giannis. He could pick up a quick 2 in the first, and then your over threes is busted. You're done. Pay attention to that. Duncan Robinson threes, Miles Turner's threes, Cade Cunningham threes, Bobby Portis threes, guys. Like I said, anybody who you can find value in for the 3, I think is worth a look. Last game of the night, Dallas and Miami, 241. I find it fascinating and quite bizarre that the highest total of the day is in this game. It doesn't feel right. I've talked about these teams before. Yes, the Dallas Mavericks have found more offensive rhythm lately. Miami plays the second fastest pace. They're very efficient on offense. But I think the under is the side. Dallas defends the 3 well, and I think a lot of the points in this one come in the paint. And I think a majority of 2-pointers scored makes it tough to get to that 240 number. So Miami's also on the road. They play a little better at home. I'm going to say that under 241 is the lean, and I like Bam, points, rebounds, and assists. Miami plays. Both these teams are just so solid defensively that I don't have any other looks or leans. So a couple things before we look at official plays. Just kidding. Let's give you the official plays, and then we'll do the sponsored segments. Layup line. Like I said, I like the under. I'm going under 241.5 here in Miami, and Dallas as my best bet of the day. My free throw, I'm actually in the double bonus. We'll say it like that. I got 2 free throw picks today, guys. I just cannot ignore the value here, and I didn't want to pick and choose between either Miles Turner or Bobby Portis. So I'm going Miles Turner 3 threes at 142, Bobby Portis 2 threes at 170. Guess what? If one of those cashes, we win. We profit. Because I bet the same units, 1 unit on each of those. So again, guys, my units are small. My units are $10. I do this for fun. I do this for entertainment, and I'm not out to make money from sports betting. I went down that road. I had my fun. I got limited. So I think most people are better off betting for fun and entertainment, tracking their bets, and my job is creating content for you guys. So we're doubling down. We're putting our eggs in Bobby Portis baskets. I couldn't ignore this, man. 3 threes at plus 500. I could not ignore that price in a game where especially if Kevin Porter's out, which I don't know he is, I'm making the assumption that he is. I think Bobby Portis is the next man up. Obviously, they play different positions, but I think Bobby Portis' usage in minutes will go up when they're lacking. They'll shift things around. They like Bobby Portis as their sixth man. I think he gets a ton of minutes in this one, and I think he struggles in the paint against Jaren Duran, and I can see him spacing the floor. Like I said, 3 threes. He's done it recently, and that price is too good to be true. Plus 500, I'll take that. And then our half-court heave. He might have one on the year. Maybe. He might have one on the year. I was shocked to see it at 12 to 1. I thought if we can get a 600-700, I'll take it. Like that was kind of my price on it. He had 14 assists last game. I don't expect him to get that many. His rebounds was like 8 last game. So he was teetering. And he's got a soft matchup in Sacramento. I think this is an all-around complete game. So give me Alperen Sengun triple-double. Now, fun fact here. You believe in like signs. You believe in omens. Alperen Sengun is Turkish. All right? That is his country of origin. His ethnicity, he is Turkish. Now, in bowling, what is a turkey? Well, turkey, of course, as we know, is 3 strikes in a row. 3 in a row. Turkish man with the triple-double, turkey meaning 3 in bowling. I'm just saying, maybe the writing's on the wall. You want to ride the Turkish triple-double? Hop on board. Now, Gambly is a free tool. They do have a paid subscription, but I'm telling you that you can check them out for free. I said this. They have a little chat bot. I said, I have a 25% NBA boost on Novig. Can you build me a 3-leg NBA parlay using legs that currently have great value in the market? Now, typically, I would like to use my research and build out my own. 100%. If that's the way you want to roll, go for it. Some people are rushed for time. Some people don't want to do all that. So I'm giving you an option. It gave me this. Franz Wagner, 25 points at plus 104 on Novig is a 4.4% EV play. Cade Cunningham, 2 steals, and the Knicks team total, which I liked against a weak Charlotte defense at 122. It cooked me up this. All I had to do was click this button right here. It took me to Novig. I applied the boost, and I did actually bet this. So I will link this exact play in the comments if you want to tail this exact play. Some things may change. If you're watching this at 4 p.m., it may not be available, but it'll still be linked down there. If you do not have Novig, guys, I'm telling you what, do I get paid when you sign up? Yes. Do I think it is still one of the best books out there right now? Yes. You can set your own prices. The limits are only based on what other people have put in the market. They've offered great promos as of recently. The UI is very clean. So if you want to use code GMGO for 50% match, I would highly recommend it. They offer deposit matches. Like it's been monthly for the past 3 months. So I can't speak any more highly of Novig. I love what they have over there. Last thing, Smart Stake. Now, some of you may see, sorry, we got a long video today. Smart Stake, they got a good chance to pick up some ground in the market with OddsView shutting down. I made a video last night on my channel about OddsView going under. A little disappointing, but I think Smart Stake is poised to be in a position to pick up some of the slack. So my favorite plus EV play of Smart Stake today is, you guessed it, Nickeil Walker-Alexander, 4 threes, plus 166 on ProfitX. Smart Stake's giving it a 10% EV play. It's on my list. I love it. And Pinnacle's at plus 126. So if you want to try out Smart Stake, you can get a 5-day free trial and then 7 days after that for $1 using code GREEN. That's what I got for you today. I will shut my mouth so you can go enjoy your day, have your fun, and we will be back tomorrow with NBA and NFL. Love you.